I was skeptical from the start. I've always been a skeptic. You kind of have to be when you're a wildlife biologist specializing in predator behavior. I spend most of my days debunking local myths, explaining away monsters as simple cases of misidentified animals or superstitions fueled by fear and imagination. But that night in Gévaudan, I still don't have explanations. Gévaudan, France, is infamous. Any history book or folklore anthology will tell you about the beast of Gévaudan, supposedly a giant wolf-like creature that terrorized the region in the 1760s. People still whisper the stories, especially when sheep go missing or cattle turn up half-eaten. Naturally, I dismissed all this as legends twisted through centuries, exaggerated with every retelling. I was there because local farmers had reported carcasses of dogs that appeared to move even after death. They called it the return of the beast, but my theory was simpler. Maybe parasites or muscle spasms. Odd, certainly, but paranormal, no chance. I had my doubts from the moment I arrived. Gévaudan had a distinct atmosphere, dense forests thick with ancient trees, paths choked by moss, air heavy with the scent of damp earth and rotting leaves. The villagers were wary, friendly enough, but quick to cross themselves and retreat behind locked doors once the sun slipped below the horizon. My first stream went out just after sunset. I had set up near the edge of the forest, where the villagers had found the first carcasses. The night was warm, but unsettlingly still, the usual sounds of crickets and rustling leaves eerily absent. My night vision camera captured shades of gray-green as I narrated my thoughts to the audience, mostly to break the suffocating silence. That's when I saw it. At first, I thought my eyes, or the camera, were playing tricks on me. One of the dog carcasses, a skeletal husk of ribs and matted fur, suddenly twitched. I froze, the hairs on my neck prickling. The logical part of my brain scrambled for an explanation. Gases escaping from decay, insects moving beneath the flesh, but none felt convincing as the carcass jerked more violently, ribs snapping back into place, limbs twisting grotesquely to rearrange themselves. My voice trembled as I described what I was witnessing, unable to hide my own creeping horror. The carcass's jaws snapped shut with a sickening crack, teeth gleaming sharp and intact, as if freshly grown. I took a cautious step forward, heart hammering painfully in my chest. Before my hand reached the flashlight clipped to my belt, the creature shifted again, bones crackling loudly in the dead silence. Then, impossibly, it stood. It wasn't natural. Nothing about this was natural. It staggered, legs bending at unnatural angles, flesh sloughing off in wet, rotting chunks. I gagged, stepping back instinctively, the camera shaking in my hands. My audience flooded the live chat with terrified questions and warnings to run. But I couldn't move. A horrified fascination rooted me to the spot, watching as the creature's form began to stabilize. Its hollow eye socket stared directly at me, empty, yet undeniably aware. Then, with a sound like escaping steam, the entire figure collapsed into a swirling mist, dispersing silently into the humid air. I stood there, breathless, scanning the clearing with frantic, darting eyes. Had it even been real? My equipment showed no malfunction. The live chat was exploding with disbelief and panic. I tried to reassure them, and myself, that it must be a hallucination or elaborate prank. But I knew better. My gut twisted with dread, a gnawing doubt sinking deeper into my bones. I spent the following day poring over footage, desperate to find explanations. Nothing logical emerged. My colleagues didn't have answers either. just concerned silence and anxious jokes that fell flat. The second night was worse. I'd chosen another spot, deeper in the forest. I'd set traps, infrared sensors, cameras, audio recorders, hoping desperately for evidence, or at least reassurance. The forest felt different that night, heavy and watchful. Shadows danced at the edge of my vision, shapes flitting silently through the trees. I tried to focus, narrating details to ground myself, my voice shaking. Then the trap sensors began lighting up, one after another. Something was moving toward me. I turned to see a grotesque pack emerging from the darkness. Dog-like, yes, but mangled and incomplete. Some dragged shattered limbs. Others were little more than bone frames wrapped in rotten flesh. Yet they moved with purpose, all turning their twisted heads in perfect synchronization toward me. My heart hammered painfully. Instinct screamed to run, but I knew they'd be faster. Instead, I backed slowly away, never turning my back as they advanced steadily, bones snapping, jaws grinding, eye sockets filled with darkness deeper than night. And just as before, they halted, suddenly rigid. The air shimmered around them, and with a rush of cold wind, they dissolved into mist. But this time, the mist didn't vanish. It hovered, dense and swirling, before coalescing slowly into something new. A shape emerged, human, familiar. My heart stuttered in recognition. The figure forming before me was undeniably mine. My silhouette mirrored exactly, down to the short hair, the posture, the clothing. Breath strangled in my throat. Panic surged like bile. The figure, my figure, stretched out a hand toward me. Its voice hissed out, my voice distorted, hollow. You doubt us, but we have always been here. We are you. A scream tore from my throat. I turned, stumbling blindly into the dark, equipment abandoned. Branches tore at my face and clothes as I ran, tripping over roots and crashing through undergrowth until, gasping and sobbing, I broke from the trees. I never returned to Gévaudan. The footage was dismissed as a hoax by skeptics and analyzed obsessively by believers. But I know what I saw. I know what spoke to me. Sometimes, when the moon is bright, I see movement from the corner of my eye, shadows that twitch and ripple unnaturally. Sometimes I wake, gasping from dreams, filled with snapping bones and swirling mist. And sometimes, when I'm alone and the world grows quiet, I swear I can hear a voice, whispering, mocking softly from the dark. We are you.